Yo, what's up guys? In this video, I'm going to talk to you about why a calorie is not a calorie, in my semi-professional opinion. So a lot of this going on right now on the YouTube about how a calorie is a calorie, and if you eat fewer calories than what you burn in a day, then you will lose weight, and that is all that matters when it comes to weight loss. And that statement is true, I guess. I kind of wince to say that because it doesn't paint the entire picture, and it negates how important food choice is, specifically when trying to lose weight. But being at a normal BMI or weight and being like fit is a byproduct of eating healthy food in reasonable amounts. You know, it's a byproduct of being healthy in general, right? And part of being healthy is eating healthy food. So, you know, why, for example, if let's say you're trying to lose weight, let's say you're trying to get in shape, why wouldn't you choose behaviors that help you to be healthy instead of trying to find some sort of workaround so you can still eat Snickers, you know? Because when you're healthy, you can eat Snickers anyway. You can eat as much Snickers as you want within reason, of course, because you've got all of these other healthy things balancing it out. It's another good video I should make. Hold on, sorry, I'm on a roll here with these fucking videos. The scale, balance of healthy versus not healthy. Sorry, I just woke up. I'm still getting awake. Okay, so anyway, the point is this, is that a calorie is not a calorie, and I'm going to explain why in this video. So what are calories? Calories are units of measurement for food metabolism, right? You consume 1 calorie, it takes X amount of time to burn or consume, and there is a different rate at which calories are burned for protein, fat, and carbs. Now, that right there is a very simplified explanation of something that is much more complex, because the human body is infinitely complex. Maybe not infinitely complex, but you know, as of right now, we don't really understand everything that happens with the human body. And it's kind of like, I understand that at the end of the day, we need to have a working model for how metabolism works and how weight loss works, because you don't need to understand every tiny little thing in order to understand how to actually lose weight. That's a very practical thing that can be explained in a few words, which is why I think people get attached to this idea of a calorie is a calorie and just eat less calories and you're fine, you'll lose weight, which is not wrong, but it misses the point, right? Which is this next thing right here. Just eat less, bro. Correct, but misses the point. Because you have to think about a few things. Number one, who's the population of people who's interested in losing weight? Who is it? Is it fit, healthy people who are jacked and ripped and work out all the time and eat healthy food and are just like superstars? Probably not. Yeah, there might be some people like that who, let's say, played sports in high school and got out of high school and got fat and they're like, oh shit, I need to lose weight again. I'm not playing soccer, every week with my high school. What can I do to lose weight since I'm not, playing soccer and I'm not 17 anymore? And so they look stuff up like this and they find, oh, a calorie is a calorie. All right, well, I'll just eat less calories. But the problem is that it doesn't attack the heart of the issue, which is that the reason they are consuming more calories is not really it's not a personal reason. It's not because they're weak people or they have no self-control. It's because they are choosing the wrong foods to eat. They're choosing the wrong foods to purchase at the grocery store. And they're taking those foods home and buying them and eating them. So if we want to actually solve the problem, it's not about eating less, really. It's about buying different foods and eating to satiety anyway. And then just upping your exercise intensity if you happen to be at a caloric surplus, or reducing the frequency with which you eat, which will increase your your level of fat burning, or the time during which your body spends burning fat, I guess. Still waking up. Give me a break. Probably should have made such a complex video when I'm just waking up. But anyway, just eat less, bro, is correct, but it misses the point. And the point is this, is that calories do not exist in a vacuum. Okay, when we are determining how many calories something has, they take it in a lab and they burn it, or they set it on fire, and they see how long it takes to burn. And then they compare different foods or different food groups to one another, and they say, okay, this took, 8 minutes to burn. That means, at this temperature, that means it has 46 calories, and this took, 19 minutes. Whatever, they've got this whole system for determining how many calories something has. But the problem is that everybody's body is different. Everybody has a different amount of muscle mass, and everybody's going to have different demands on their body and need various things over others. Now, like, I guess if we adjust for how, if we adjust for things like muscle mass and personal differences, yes, it is true that calories will all be burned at the same rate, but you're focusing on the wrong thing. That's not what you want to focus on. That is kind of, it just misses the point completely, which is that, like, who cares how long it takes to burn this calorie or that calorie? The reason for consuming food is to provide an efficient fuel for you to get as good of a workout as possible, I would think. Right? If you are trying to lose weight independent of actually training your body to look better through like building muscle in the right places, you are completely missing the point. If you do not have physical exercise as a priority in your life, you are completely missing the point. Completely missing the point, right? Because how good are you really going to look without exercising? And for how long are you going to look that good without plastic surgery and without, God-given amazing genetics? Even as a woman, the bar is set pretty low for women these days, but like, how good are you really going to look, and how long are you going to look that good if you don't have like the perfect genetic figure and you're not working out? There's a reason all these fitness Instagram influencers, or all these Instagram influencers on Instagram, are so popular, and there's so many fitness ones, because people like looking at fit bodies. It's just a beautiful thing. So if you're not trying to achieve that and you just want to like, eat less calories, I guess that's one way to do it. But why wouldn't you choose a more efficient way that requires less thought and less counting, I guess? But anyway, the point is this, is that calories don't exist in a vacuum. They exist in relation to their usefulness in the human body. And more importantly, you do not eat, for example, a pound or 3 ounces of protein or 3 ounces of fat. You eat 3 ounces of chicken, which is going to be different than eating 3 ounces of fish or 3 ounces of pork or 3 ounces of whatever, some other kind of protein. And all of those little differences in between the actual food itself is going to have a different effect on your body, because they all have different nutrient profiles and probably a lot of other stuff that science just hasn't figured out yet. So to focus exclusively on calories is a mistake, is what I'm saying. Which brings me to my next point. All foods are unique and will exert different effects on the human body during metabolism. So some foods, for example, liver, for example, has a lot of micronutrients, right? Very high in vitamin B, which will give you more energy. Super simple explanation. If you focus on calories, which liver is relatively low in calories since it's low in fat, it's kind of just like, it's a bad example because it's like a perfect food. If you focus on that, the calories, then you're completely ignoring everything else that goes into the food, right? You're ignoring all the micronutrients. You're ignoring all the vitamin B. Why would you do that, really? Like, let's just say the additional micronutrients in vitamin B will provide you with enough energy to go and crush a workout in the gym 10 times harder than you could if you just had some protein powder. Why wouldn't you choose the liver, even if it's more calories? Really? You're worried you're going to gain a little bit of weight? Well, what about the extra muscle that you put on during that workout, which will burn more calories at rest? You don't have to be like a giant muscle freak, but I guess the point is that your priority should not be limiting your calories, which is not that I'm against restrictive diets. I think there is a time and place for limiting the amount of calories that you consume. But I think if you're going to do it, you might as well completely limit any sort of consumption of calories whatsoever, i.e. limiting your eating frequency or reducing your eating frequency or just fasting. Why are you going to make it so difficult and like keep your little calculator to figure out how many calories you're eating? It just seems like way too much work to me. For your average person who's not a pro bodybuilder, like, why would you do that? Why would you go through all of the headache of like researching, selecting, buying the right foods that are less calorie dense when you could just save yourself the trouble and just not eat for a day? Why would you not do that? And you're not a pro bodybuilder who needs to like keep on freakish amounts of muscle. So we'll get to this little infographic afterwards, but some foods are objectively better. Okay, this brings me to the next point. It's like, you should not focus on calories. You should not focus on it because some foods are objectively better, right? Some foods are just better than others. Bottom line, nothing you can say about it. Like, you can debate me on that, I guess. Oh, every food has a different place and some foods are better for this and some foods are better for that. I don't think so. And the reason I don't think so is because I've experimented with lots of different types of foods, lots of different types of eating style. And throughout this time, while I have been experimenting with different types of foods, I have continued to exercise on a regular basis. And the way that I determine whether or not certain foods are good or not is how they affect my exercise performance. Now, it is possible that you could say, and I'm not a pro athlete, I'm just like your average gym bro who pays attention to these things. But you could say, if you really want to nitpick, you could be like, well, I'm going to go ride, my bicycle for 50 kilometers. I need to eat more carbs. Therefore, your theory is wrong. Well, okay, fine. If it's an extreme example and you're a specialized athlete, okay. But for your average person who's just going to do their shitty office job 8 or 9 hours a day, go to the gym and work out and come home, watch TV and just do basic shit, there are some foods that are objectively better. And if we want to refer to my extremely scientific little, it's a Venn diagram. I don't know what this is. I have created this handy dandy, a calorie is not a calorie, brilliant stroke of genius. So here we have all foods are in this oval right here. And in the red section, we have foods you should never eat. Like foods that, like, from a health standpoint, if you're trying to be as healthy as possible, you should never actually consume these foods, right? High fructose. Well, and basically that is, pizza rolls, fucking microwave chimichangas, food that's heavily processed, Cheez-Its. You should technically you should never eat Cheez-Its. They're not good. There are lots of foods that are much better than Cheez-Its that, given the choice between Cheez-Its and something else, you should choose the something else, right? Even if, I'm a bicyclist, I'm a fucking whatever. No, Cheez-Its are never the ideal choice, okay? We're talking about the ideal choice here. Cheez-Its are not in that category. And everything in the Cheez-Its aisle, you can say the exact same thing for that pretty much, right? And then over here, you have foods that aren't unhealthy but are not ideal, right? I don't know if we put Cheez-Its in that category. I would put things in this category like protein powder, protein bars, fucking Kodiak pancakes, the protein pancakes, whatever. Low calorie, Diet Coke, right? I don't know. All of these like fake diet foods, which they're not unhealthy per se, in terms of like, they're not completely, well, I guess they are kind of devoid of nutritional content. Anyway, let's just stick with this. Foods that aren't unhealthy but aren't ideal. And then over here we have the best foods, right? The best foods in terms of what they do for your body. Did I say the lowest calorie dense, best tasting foods? No, did not say that. These are objectively the best foods. If we accept this model, right? Maybe we might disagree on what the best foods are, but let's accept this model to be true. Okay, we're just accepting that the model is true. That within all of the foods on Earth, there are certain foods you should never eat. There are foods that aren't unhealthy but aren't ideal. And there is a small group of foods that are objectively the best foods and should be consumed with the highest frequency and in the highest amounts. I believe that to be true based on my own experience and based on my observations of other people. Just seems like that's the case. Okay, so the best foods, maybe I'll get into that in another video, but briefly to touch on it, the best foods are foods that are natural, that exist in nature, that the human body has evolved to consume, that are calorie dense, contain a lot of micronutrients, basically, with a few exceptions. Any kind of animal flesh, organ meat is also very good. Eggs are good. What else? Certain vegetables, certain fruits, I guess garlic is a vegetable, certain spices. But notice these are all natural things, right? I don't want to get too deeply into that. Let's just assume that there are some foods that are the best foods. Okay, so some foods are objectively better. Let's just assume that's true. Objectively better foods should be prioritized for consumption, and this should say regardless of how many calories per serving they contain, right? The calories is not what we want to focus on, because assuming you're drinking enough water, your sense of hunger is self-regulating, right? if you okay, wait, I take that back. Assuming you're drinking enough water and you are consuming the best foods, your sense of hunger is self-regulating. Okay. I would love to be able to host the challenge of people who are fat and can't lose weight. Oh my God, I've tried everything. And I give them a very simplified plan, right? Here's the simplified plan. People who are struggling. Eat once a day. I'm so sick of saying this. Eat once a day. Eat only, I don't know, chicken and eggs. Steak and eggs. Steak and eggs. Everybody likes steak and eggs, right? Steak and eggs, garlic, olive oil, and onions, and spices, and hot sauce. That's it. Eat as much of that as you want once a day. And then after you have stuffed yourself on that, after you've eaten a massive meal of that, this is the part where it might break down because it's subjective. Oh, well, I had a couple bites. I was stuffed. Fuck you. You know? Anyway, let's just say that. Okay, eat that 4 days a week or how about eat that 3 days a week and every 3 days you can have a cheat day. Or eat that every single day and then after dinner you can have as much dark chocolate as you want. But only dark chocolate. That's it. That's your diet. I guarantee people are going to lose weight. Nobody's going to do it though. Anyway, the most important point, perhaps, is that a normalized BMI in a lean and muscular body are byproducts of consuming the best foods and hard training. So this eating the best foods and training hard will naturally lead to being lean and muscular. It is like 1 + 1 = 2. If you eat the best foods, those foods I mentioned earlier, not rocket science, and you train hard, okay? If you don't know how to train hard, I guess you could buy a program if you want, or just join a boxing gym or go do cardio go do classes at your gym. Those classes are not easy. Go find some people who are already training hard and just go do what they do in a group setting. Easy. If you do those things and you consume the best foods, then you will have a lean and muscular body. Shit is not rocket science. And here's the point, okay? A lean and muscular body is achievable through other means, but proper food choice is a surefire way to get there. Meaning that, yes, you can count calories and you can hunt for all these like low calorie, dense, tasty foods that aren't unhealthy but aren't ideal. You can do that. You can space out your eating frequency. You can like do all of this extra stuff. You can spend all of this extra time and put all this extra mental energy towards like mad scientisting your way to the same goal of having a lean and muscular body, which is what I assume what most people want anyway. You can spend all that extra time and effort to getting that, or you can make a list of 15 to 20 of the best foods, go buy them at the grocery store in large amounts, and just eat those and go do group classes and work out. Why would you not do it that way, really? Do you have just so much extra time that you want to spend all this extra time figuring out like, you know, the best sugar-free pancake syrup that you can eat on your protein pancakes? Like, I guess you really like pancakes that much. Okay, but why wouldn't you just choose the best foods, objectively best foods, as determined by like, you know, biology and you know, the history of the human race, foods that we've like evolved to digest, metabolize? Why wouldn't you just choose those, which I think taste better than fucking fake pancakes and fake pancake syrup anyway? I'm just using that as an example. Maybe there's actually really good like healthy diet food. I haven't had that much of it, to be honest with you. It's all kind of like, well, this isn't as good as like real junk food, but it's kind of satisfying me in a way to eat junk food, but I don't really enjoy it. Anyway, whatever, that's the point, is that looking the way that you want to look is achievable through like literally 2 steps that require no thinking at all. And this is too much thinking. Oh my God, how many calories did I eat? Yeah, as simple as that sounds, that's too much thinking. Cool. What do you think about my little theory here? Let me know. Leave me a comment. Peace.